So what if I told you that the busiest startups are often the ones most likely to fail? I know, it sounds totally backwards, but it's this huge, invisible trap that so many early stage companies fall into. Today, we're going to dig into why so many startups mistake just being busy for making real progress, and how that one little mix-up can silently bring their growth to a grinding halt. Let me ask you something. Does this feel familiar? Your team is working flat out. The dashboards are lit up like a Christmas tree. Everyone's calendar is packed, but you've got this nagging feeling in your gut that you're not actually going anywhere. It feels like you're just spinning your wheels. Lots of noise, lots of heat, but zero traction. Well, that feeling is a classic sign that something is fundamentally broken. And that right there, that's the core confusion. See, most early go-to-market failures don't happen with a big, loud crash. They don't look like failure at all. No, they're much sneakier than that. They disguise themselves as perfectly normal, productive, everyday work. And here's the crazy part. All of this stuff, this is what we celebrate. We're shipping more content, our outreach numbers are up, leads are coming in, we're even building more dashboards to track all the awesome stuff we're doing. I mean, from the outside looking in, it looks like you're absolutely crushing it. But really, it's just motion. Okay, so if that's just motion, what should we be aiming for? Well, it's progress. And progress isn't just about ticking boxes on a to-do list. It's about creating results that actually compound. Think of it like this. Every single thing you do should build on the last thing, making the whole system stronger and stronger over time. We're talking about lasting change here, not just busy work. So this really gets to the heart of it, this battle between activity and progress. Now let's dive into why it's so tempting, so easy for teams to get stuck just measuring motion, and why measuring real change, even though it's way harder, is absolutely critical. Okay, this is really the core of the whole problem. Why do we default to activity? Well, it's simple. It's visible. You can see it. You can track it in your CRM, and let's be honest, it's super easy to justify to your board or your boss. You just point and say, look at all the stuff we did. But progress? Man, that's a different beast. It's tough. You need real clarity on what you're even trying to change. You need to compare it to something to know if you're getting better. And you need patience, lots of patience. It's the difference between just motion and real, meaningful change. So it really boils down to this. We default to what we can see and what we can count. It's human nature. It feels productive, it feels safe. But when you're just measuring how fast the wheels are spinning and not where the car is actually going, you are totally misreading the signals. And here's where it gets really dangerous. This isn't just a small mix-up. Oh no. It sets off a chain reaction. Let's walk through how this one simple confusion starts to stack up against you until it becomes this massive systemic failure that can literally bring a company to its knees. So it happens in a pretty predictable 4-step spiral. First, you get false demand. You hear a lot of, oh, that's interesting, and you mistake it for, I want to buy this now. You get happy ears and stop digging for real commitment. Then that leads to a vague ideal customer profile. I mean, if you're not getting clear signals from actual buyers, how can you possibly know who you're selling to? Everything stays blurry. From there, you end up with unstable sales. Your wins feel like pure luck, your losses are a total mystery. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And then, the final nail in the coffin, premature marketing. You think, we need to pour gas on the fire. But there is no fire. You're just amplifying all that confusion and sending a muddled message out to who even knows. Okay, hold on. If this is such a train wreck, why doesn't somebody pull the emergency brake? Why are there no alarms going off? Well, that's what makes this whole thing so insidious. It's a silent killer. It all happens just beneath the surface of what looks like a perfectly healthy, busy company. I mean, think about it. Nothing actually breaks, right? The website is still up, the servers don't crash, there's no big public screw-up that makes the news. Everything just looks fine. Heck, your dashboards might even look amazing. Leads are up, traffic is growing, the sales pipeline looks packed, the team feels busy and good about it. All those vanity metrics, they're all pointing up and to the right. But here's the kicker, the really devastating part. Underneath all that noise, nothing is compounding. Your cost to acquire a customer isn't going down, your sales cycle isn't getting any shorter, your win rate is totally flat. You're basically stuck on a hamster wheel, running your heart out just to stay in the exact same spot. So what you're left with is a system that has all this motion, but zero direction. You think you're learning from conversations, but you're not getting to any real truth. You've got tons of data, but no idea what causes what. You can't connect the dots.
You are, for all intents and purposes, flying completely blind. Okay, so that's the doom and gloom. How do you get out of this mess? How do you hop off that hamster wheel and actually start moving forward? Well, it all boils down to asking yourself one single powerful question. This is the one question that cuts through all the noise. Now, before I give you the right question, let's talk about the wrong one. The one everyone always asks. It's, are we doing enough? Should we hire more people? Do we need a bigger marketing budget? See, all of those are questions about your inputs. They all assume the answer is just more activity. But the real question, the game-changing question, is this. What is actually changing because of what we're doing? Is our win rate actually ticking up? Are we closing deals faster? Are prospects starting to use our language in sales calls? This question forces you to stop looking at your output and start looking at the outcome. And look, here's the absolute bottom line. If you can't answer that question clearly, if you can't point to something specific that is changing for the better, then what you're doing is just activity. It's not progress. And throwing more effort at it, hiring more people, sending more emails, none of that is going to fix it. You don't have an effort problem, you have a system problem. So let's wrap this up. If your startup feels incredibly busy but also completely stuck, it's almost definitely not because your team isn't working hard enough. It's because you're not failing loudly. You're just quietly misreading the signals. The key isn't to do more. It's to stop, ask what is actually changing, and have the guts to not start up again until you have a really, really good answer.